All right, my name's Eddie. I'm with Real.com's Take 5. I'm here with Nile Rodgers. We got Shaka Khan going on in the background. This is the first concert in the Summer Nights of the Pier series in Seattle, Washington. Nile Rodgers and Chic was the first band to play, and man, they were awesome. You guys rocked.
Thank you, man. It was great,
Very
right?
Cool. Yeah, I got to say, man, you're a big hero of mine. I've been into your music since I was 10 years old. You know, The Freak, all that good times.
Thanks.
You know, so
the party music, yeah.
Definitely the party music, definitely. So yeah, tell me about the members of your band and different projects you've worked on.
Sure. Well, let me start with the musicians first.
Yeah.
Omar Hakim is our drummer.
Right.
Omar and I, we had a band together when we were he was 16. I was around 19 or 20.
Really?
And he was my first drummer.
Uh-huh.
And I could only use him in gigs that we did in the daytime because he couldn't couldn't play in the bars.
Okay, I got you.
And then after Omar, we got Paul Frazier on the bass, and he's our newest member.
Right.
Usually Jerry Barnes is with us, but Jerry works a lot with Roberta Flack, so he was moonlighting with Roberta, so we got cool. Paul, and he's been great. He's holding on the bottom.
Yeah.
Bill and Mac, our horn players, have been with me for a long time. They've been with me ever since David Bowie.
Right. Bill, he played the little pocket trumpet on Let's Dance, right?
That's right. You got it. And let's see who else. Gerardo Velez. I've known Gerardo since Woodstock.
That's a percussionist?
Yeah, that's
right.
Sorry,
he
percussionist.
Hendrix, right?
Yeah, he played with Hendrix at Woodstock.
Very cool.
His sister was in a great band called the Children of God, who I used to follow around when I was like 15 years old.
That's cool.
So he's been in the family for a while.
Yeah.
Silver Logan Sharp has been my vocalist now for 10 years.
Wow.
She's been on the last 2 Chic albums, and she's killer.
Yeah.
Audra Lomax is our other vocalist who's new, and she's been with us for about 3 years, and she's great.
Yeah.
The other keyboard player and vocalist is brand new, Merlene Nelson, and she was tearing it up. You know,
totally.
Great jazz player and a great singer. And then Rich Hilton, my other keyboard player, has been my programmer and since coming to America. So he said he's been with me for about 12 years now.
Wow. So he's on like Higher Love and
he's been around. Yeah.
Well,
no, I don't think he was with us in Excess. Okay. Coming to America was after that, but after that, he did Coming to America with me, Thelma and Louise,
right?
The B-52s,
right?
I feel like
Yeah, like, and Omar, of course, he was Weather Report.
He was in
Sting,
Madonna,
like a Virgin.
Marcus Miller,
a whole bit. Yeah. Did he play in Siesta with Marcus Miller?
Who knows? He's playing on every other record, so who can tell?
So now a lot of people don't really know what a producer is, and you're up there with, you got Quincy Jones, George Martin, Nile Rodgers, Tell people, give us a little education. What is a producer?
Basically, the producer of a record is sort of like the equivalent of the director of the film.
Right.
That's the easiest way for people to understand it. I usually inspire the performances if I'm doing my job.
Right.
But I do the hiring as well. I get the studios, usually hire the musicians who play on the record if it's not a band.
Right.
And even if it is a band, I hire the supplemental musicians like the string players or the horn players.
Right.
In my case, I do the arrangements as well.
Right.
And a lot of the times I also write the songs.
Yeah, exactly.
In the
like
case
on the Diana Ross songs.
And Sister Sledge.
Totally, yeah.
And the way I produce, I rewrite the songs as well. The perfect example is the Bowie Let's Dance album.
Yeah.
People don't realize that entire album is mainly covers. All of those songs came out before except for Let's Dance and
China Girls?
and Shake It. No, China Girls a cover.
Oh, yeah. Pop song, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So I rewrite the songs as well.
Yeah, because a lot of different producers have different styles. I mean, George Martin has a different style. For example, there's Brian Eno, who's got a totally different style where it's more conceptual.
Than everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like really hands-on. You're writing the horn parts. Yeah, some of my favorite arrangements are like in Good Times. Some of that stuff and
I Want Your Love.
Those horn parts are awesome.
Yeah.
It makes me think about Philip Glass.
Right. Philip Glass is a hero of mine. I love all of the sort of minimalist, classical and electronic
like Steve
stuff.
Reich, Terry Riley, all that stuff. Totally.
Mother Mallard's Portable Masterpiece. I love all that stuff.
That's great. Cool. So we're going out on the internet now, and there's a lot of talk in the music business now about MP3s and Napster.
Love them.
Everything. So what's your take on the whole bit?
I like MP3s. I like anything that allows people to do more with music, to either have more, to make more, to do it faster, do it better, anything like that. But I'm a songwriter, so obviously I want to be able to choose who I give my music to.
Yeah.
So,
which brings up a good point. You're also one of the first artists to be sampled with Rapper's Delight.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so tell me about that and how you feel about sampling in music now. A lot of producers are really heavy into sampling.
Yeah, well, I love sampling. I don't particularly sample a lot myself.
Right.
In the traditional sense. In other words, I don't usually use someone else's music.
Right.
If I sample my own stuff. Yeah. I'll do ideas and snippets. Yeah. Because now I'm primarily working in Pro Tools. So what I'll do is I'll convert most of my MIDI files to audio, so I can sample and make loops out of them, or edit the performance.
Or you have a drummer record, and then you'll do drum loops over that drum.
Sometimes, usually if I usually most of my drum tracks are full performances. Right. Sometimes they're cleaned up. Yeah. To resolve to clicks, but no, I keep the entire performance.
And you record everything in Pro Tools then?
Totally.
Oh, that's great. Cool.
Yeah.
So, let's see. We talk about.
Oh, you wanted to ask me about my product, the PC DJ.
Yeah, PC DJ. Tell me about that, because
okay.
You're using MP3s in a totally new, revolutionary way that people aren't using it as a live performance instrument.
Yes. As a matter of fact, a good example is if you see a rerun of the VH1 show, Divas Live, the dedication to Diana Ross. If you listen to what our DJ is doing, he's actually playing MP3s live. He's triggering the MP3s with the space opera.
Right, as opposed to using a turntable.
Right.
Now, what exactly is the space opera?
The space opera basically are virtual turntables.
Yeah. So you're actually cutting and scratching.
Right. You're using
like a wand.
You're using like a chord chaos pad to alter the sound. Right. And we also have a new controller unit that allows you to scratch and reverse and flip and loop and layer.
Wow. So it's a little bit similar to the Roland Groove product.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Exactly. But the difference is that in our system we can hold 20,000 songs. Yeah. And you can find them in a nanosecond.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
A kid emailed us the other day, and he was playing a little rave in his dorm. Yeah. And he had a bunch of kids in there, and somebody pulled the fire alarm, and instantly he went into the search engine and got every song that had fire, burn.
Burning down the house.
And that's exactly what he pulled. He pulled burning down the house, and they thought that he pulled the fire alarm because he pulled it up so quick.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with like search engines now on the internet, being able to pull down.
It's ridiculous.
It's pretty cool. So tell me about how you came up with the song "Freak Out."
Well, now this is cool that we're on the net because I can tell you the real story.
Give me the story, expletives and all.
Okay, good. We were. I won't say we were hired, but Grace Jones wanted us to see her show at Studio 54 because she knew that we wrote songs based on people's real lives.
And this is you and Bernard.
Yes, me and Bernard. Yeah. And so she invited us to a New Year's Eve party at Studio 54.
Right.
And I guess she just assumed that since we were chic, we could get in, right?
Yeah.
So she failed to put us on the guest list, and we got there, and they wouldn't let us in. Yeah. So we got pissed off, and we went around the corner to my apartment. Yeah. And we started jamming on our instruments, which is what we did for therapeutic reasons in those days. It made us feel good to jam. Right. So we started playing this little riff, bow bow. And started singing, "Aw, fuck off," because we were pissed off at Studio 54, and we started writing "fuck off," and wrote all of these little melodies.
And you actually included Studio 54 into the lyrics.
Totally, it was about Studio 54.
Find a spot on the floor.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, Bernard looks at me and goes, "Damn, man, this is happening. Yeah, we got it." And I said, "But we can't get fuck off on the radio." And he says, No. Let's fix it. So we changed it from fuck off to freak off. That sucked. Yeah. So we went from freak off to freak out and went, whoa, we got it.
You got something.
And so instead of protesting about Studio 54, we started paying homage to it and saying, oh, just come on down to 54, find your spot out on the floor. Have you heard about the new dance?
Yeah, right. Cool.
And it wound up being great.
Yeah. Now, you guys also played on Fifth of Beethoven, is that right? You're originally
No. See, that was the people get confused because our band, before we called ourselves Chic, was called the Big Apple Band.
Right.
And a lot of people thought that Walter Murphy and the Big Apple Band was Walter Murphy with me and Bernard, but it's not true.
It's not true. Okay.
No. Good.
Cool.
It's a good story, but no, we wish we had done that.
Yeah,
I love that
was a great
song.
Tune. Yeah, cool. So tell me about. Let's see. I think Phil, questions. So, what kind of young producers are you into nowadays?
Well, my favorite guys are actually producers that I'm working with now. Sam and Dave, they have a production situation called Pop Rocks.
Yeah.
They just did a bunch of records, like they did remixes with DMX and a lot of people like that. And they have a new artist now called Tarsha Vega coming out, and
cool.
And we've just worked on some new stuff with Donna Summer. We're writing for who else? Well, I'm working with Donna Summer and Pop Rocks, and then I'm also working with Pop Rocks with Chic. We're doing Chic
awesome.
2K with them, and it's great.
That's gonna be great.
Oh man.
Cool. So yeah, I want to ask you about Live at Budokan. I mean, that was the last record, with Bernard Edwards. It was cut, the night before he passed away.
Yes.
And I know that's got to be tough for you. And what is it that allowed you to get back on the road with Chic? And what's the motivation for you to get back out and,
I'm gonna tell you exactly. The night that Bernard died, right before we went on stage at the Budokan, we looked out there and it was a totally sold out audience. And he just says, "You know what, brother, this music is bigger than us." And I sort of knew what he meant then, but I wasn't the,
Yeah, right.
My sense of humor with Bernard was like, "Man, come on, let's just go out and play the damn show."
Right.
But I realized he was telling the truth, because when we play it, I mean, you could see the reaction tonight. It's amazing. It's like,
beautiful.
The other day I was hanging out with Elton John, and we were just talking about shows and music, and I said that whenever I'm playing Chic, I never have a bad show.
Yeah.
And he went, "Well, what do you mean by that?" I said, in my mind, there's no such thing as a bad Chic show.
Right.
It's always like this.
Yeah, one of the points brought up here was that the music is a part of people. I mean, this music is so ingrained in, everybody's, culture, and
I know,
it's a beautiful thing. It's like.
Bernard is right. It's bigger than us.
It's
Whenever
bigger
we
than
go,
you, totally.
the whole crowd goes freak out.
Freak out 'cause everybody knows that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's true.
That's great. Cool. And so that got you back out on the road and got you feeling comfortable to do that.
I felt compelled to do it, and I also felt like if I didn't do it, I'd be running away and denying what I've written and what I've created.
Right.
Like I know a lot of artists that somehow, whenever you have really big success, you start to think that it's corny and it's too commercial, and you want people to see your more artistic side. Well, I'm very proud of Chic, and after Bernard died, it really hit me what he meant when he said it's bigger than us. So I feel it's almost my responsibility to carry it on and present it in a very dignified way. So when people see it, they understand what it's all about.
Cool.
Like a lot of people tonight were saying that, "Wow, I had no idea that you guys were such a serious band and that you guys rock out and this and that." I keep thinking, well, she says, "I thought you guys were just a disco band."
See, that's the thing. Everybody pigeonholes you as disco now, and you would probably say disco would be like the Village People, or
of course, it is
drum machines, basically, right?
Yeah, so
how do you
not
differentiate disco from what you guys do?
Well, see, back in the day, we used to consider disco like production kind of stuff. That it wasn't actually bands. I don't know of a disco band.
Right.
But Chic is a band. In other words, we're a band like Earth, Wind & Fire is a band, or like the Beatles are a band, or like the Stones are a band.
Yeah.
So I don't really know any disco bands. Maybe Casey and the Sunshine Band. But the truth of the matter is that the way we related to Casey was he was an R&B band.
What about Bee Gees?
The Bee Gees aren't disco,
They're a band,
though.
yeah. And then they started out not being a disco band.
They just did Saturday Night Fever. That's all. They
Yeah.
weren't a disco band. I mean, they did the mining, all of that, the soft rock stuff. No, the Bee Gees weren't even a disco to me. What happened is that because of the success of Saturday Night Fever, they looked upon the Bee Gees as like the quintessential disco act, but I don't look at it like that, and I don't even think the Bee Gees look at it like that.
Right.
To me, disco was more like the European stuff and some of the American
ABBA.
stuff, like the Tramps were R&B disco.
Disco Inferno.
Al Downing, Dream World.
Right.
Records like Silver Convention, Fly Robin Fly, that's disco to me.
Totally.
Funky Town,
Funky
that's
Town.
disco
Lips
to
Incorporated,
me. Lip Sync.
Lip Sync?
Lip Sync, yeah.
Okay.
Not Incorporated. What are you doing
Yeah.
now? No, Lip Sync, like
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it did look like it was Lips Incorporated. No, that was a play on words.
Yeah,
it looked like Lips Inc. Right? But it's
Never
Lip
heard anybody
Sync.
actually say it.
No, Lip Sync.
Well, that's
yeah.
cool. All right, great. Well, that's a good chunk of stuff
Disco
for us.
101.
Yeah, Disco 101 with Nile Rodgers here.